Day number 11 of the 12 days of MLB rankings is finally here, and of course, we're going to be ranking the top 30 starting pitchers in Major League Baseball, in my opinion. Comment section's been getting spicy on these last few. I can't wait to see how you guys dissect my pitcher rankings. I definitely probably look at pitching a little bit different than the majority of you, but that's why these videos are fun. So let me know in the comment section below what rankings you agree or disagree with, or who you think I snubbed from the top 30 list. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe because over half of you aren't subscribed, and tomorrow, Christmas Day, you will be getting the top 50 players in Major League Baseball. You're not going to want to miss that. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links are in the description. And without further ado, let's get going into these top 30 pitchers. I can't wait to see the comments. Getting the starting pitcher started at number 32. That's right, we're doing 32 this year because I had to fit Spencer Schwellenbach on the list. The dude is a really good pitcher. He's disgusting. Schwellenbach last year in his rookie season, 123 innings, 21 starts, a 3.35 ERA, a whip right around 1 at 1.043 with a FIP at 3.29. He struck out a ton of batters. I mean, the stuff is absolutely disgusting. If you look at his baseball savant page, 96th percentile in chase rate. He doesn't walk anybody. Nobody barrels up the baseball. And I feel like every single big game between the Mets and the Braves, he was pitching and he was untouchable. Shout out to me. I called it back in 2021 when he got drafted as one of the best picks outside of the first round. He's a borderline top 30 pitcher. Didn't want to leave him off the video. Just missing on the top 30 at number 31, I've got Bailey Ober of the Minnesota Twins. Bailey Ober low-key had an amazing season last year. Now, I know you're seeing a 3.98 ERA and you're wondering how does he make it close to the top 30. If you take away 2 starts against the Royals, his ERA was low threes. He had a whip at 1 flat this year in 178 innings. He had a career high K rate at nearly 27%, walking only 6% of the batters he faced. He's an extension king. I mean, the guy's 6'9", so he's basically tickling you when he throws that four seam. Had a ridiculously good chase rate. Nobody hit the ball particularly hard off of him. He was just a really good pitcher, and again, I couldn't squeeze him into the top 30, but he is so incredibly close. Wouldn't be shocked if next year's a top 20 pitcher. Getting the top 30 started at number 30, Kansas City Royals pitcher Seth Lugo. Lugo finished second in the Cy Young voting last year, 15th in MVP. He won a Gold Glove. It was a career season for Lugo. And while I think talent-wise, he might not be one of the nastiest pitchers in baseball, it's hard to ignore the fact they threw 206 innings last year, made 33 starts, a 3 flat ERA, struck out about 22% of the batters he's faced, walking under 6%. Like, he is just a really good pitcher. I don't know if he's your stereotypical ace. I don't think you'd feel great about that, but what Seth Lugo did last year was give you innings, get outs, and give you a chance to win, and he was one of the best in baseball at doing that last season, so he cracks the top 30. Coming in at number 29, I've got Shota Imanaga of the Chicago Cubs. What an awesome rookie year for Shota Imanaga, coming over from the NPB in Japan, and he was dominant as ever. His first month was out of control in Major League Baseball. I feel like nobody was scoring against him, and as a whole, his season was still great. He finished 15-3 on the year for a Cubs team that didn't make the playoffs. 173 innings, 2.9 ERA, a whip at 1.02, struck out 25% of the batters he faced, walked only 4%. He's got that crazy fastball that seemingly nobody can touch. The chase rate was crazy. I'm really interested to see how hitters adjust to Imanaga in 2025, but as of right now, they have no clue what's coming. For the 28th best pitcher in Major League Baseball, I've got Justin Steele of the Chicago Cubs. How many innings of Justin Steele do we need to see until we realize he's just a really good pitcher? We're now going on over 420 innings over the last 3 seasons, a 3.1 ERA, a FIP at 3.14, a whip at 1.199. He's striking out 25% of the batters he's facing. He's been able to cut down that walk rate, getting it to around 5, 6, 7%. Nobody hits the ball hard off of him. I don't know how. The stuff doesn't look particularly amazing, but nobody barrels the ball off him. Nobody hits the ball hard. He doesn't walk anybody. He's just a really solid pitcher, and until he kind of regresses, I just don't see that changing. Back on the list, expected to be healthy for the 2025 season, Sandy Alcantara comes in at number 27. Now, I know that sounds a little bit harsh. Sandy won the Cy Young back in 2022. To be fair, the last time we saw him pitch back in 2023, 28 starts, a 4 ERA, just wasn't nearly as sharp as he was in the previous year when he won the Cy Young. The K rate was down to under 20%, a 6% walk rate. Those just aren't dominant pitcher numbers. Surely he was pitching a little bit injured, and now he has had a full year to recover and be ready for opening day. I'm still just putting him a little bit lower than where he probably truly is just because of the innings and the injury and the fact that the last time we did see him pitch, he wasn't the same Sandy. But he's still a top 30 pitcher, and I expect the Marlins to actually trade this guy at some point this year. Next up at number 26, I've got Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants. The reason for dropping Webb isn't necessarily that I think he's bad. I think he's maybe not as sharp as he was previously. 2024 was a bit of an up and down year. He's still an innings king, gave you over 200 innings for the second straight season, made all of his starts, all 33, but the K rate was down to 20.5%, the lowest since 2020. The walk rate was up near 6%. While he still finished 6th in the Cy Young voting, it just didn't feel like a clean season for Logan Webb, and truthfully, I just prioritize strikeouts and stuff over Logan Webb's game, where last year he actually got hit pretty hard for the first time in a while, and the whiff rate was way down. down. So I'm just kind of getting ahead of the curve here, but I wouldn't be shocked if Logan Webb goes back to being a top 10 pitcher by next season. Getting the top 25 start at number 25, I've got Aaron Nola of the Philadelphia Phillies. Nola just continues to be a really good pitcher. I know I have him dropping from where he was last season. To be fair, there's a lot of new names that just flew up these rankings, but Nola every single year is going to give you 200 innings with an ERA right around 3.5, a whip at 1.1, 1.2. He's going to finish top 10 in Cy Young voting. He's going to strike out 25% of the batters he faces, doesn't walk anybody. Aaron Nola doesn't do anything sexy or pretty on the mound, but he just ends up getting results year in and year out. Since 2018, he's averaging 180 innings per season, and that includes the 2020 season where he threw 71. Like, he's just the picture-perfect example of consistency. I think that's worth something. Heading up north at number 24, Minnesota Twins pitcher Joe Ryan. You guys hip to Joe Ryan? I became hip to Joe Ryan, and wow, he's a really fascinating pitcher to watch because his fastball's not overpowering by any means, 94 miles an hour, but nobody touches it. And last year in 135 innings, Joe Ryan had a near 30% K rate at 27.3%, 4.3% walk rate. That's coming off of a K rate in 2023 of 29% and a walk rate of 5. So he limits base runners, gets a bunch of swing and misses, gets people to chase, has great extension. This leads me to believe that Joe Ryan is just a straight up good pitcher, and the Twins are cooking something in Minnesota because their entire staff is loaded. It's crazy they didn't make the playoffs. Newly signed, freshly paid New York Yankee Max Fried comes in next at number 23. Down a few spots from the previous year. Again, it's not because Max Fried is really bad by any means. He's actually a really solid pitcher, and I think he's going to fit beautifully at Yankee Stadium because he is 96th percentile in ground ball rate at 59.2%. Where he did struggle a little bit last year was his K rate did drop a bit. It was down to 23%, and he did walk 8% of the guys, so like the stuff wasn't as sharp. But again, 174 innings, a 3.2 ERA, a whip at 1.164, a 3.33 FIP. There's not a lot of bad with Max Fried. I just don't know what the ceiling is, which is kind of where you find yourself when you're ranked 23rd. But it's a nice pickup for the Yankees for sure. Another re-emerging pitcher on the rankings at number 22, I've got Shane McClanahan of the Tampa Bay Rays. McClanahan missed last year, of course, due to injury, Tommy John surgery, and that is terrifying, but we've never not seen Shane McClanahan be a dominant pitcher when he's on the mound. In his career, 404 innings, a 3 ERA, a 1.1 whip, a FIP at 3.36. He has a career K rate at 28%, a walk rate around 7. Like, his stuff is disgusting. It flies out of his hands. His fastball is filthy. The changeup, curveball, slider combination, like 4 really good pitches with some great extension and a ton of whiffs. I mean, the only question with Shane McClanahan is his health. If he's healthy, he's even better than a top 20 pitcher. We just haven't seen him pitch in a year, so I'm giving him a little bit of training wheels here, taking it easy. Just missing on the top 20 at number 21, I've got Framber Valdez of the Houston Astros. Framber is a criminally underrated pitcher in the grand scheme of Major League Baseball, finished in the top 10 of Cy Young voting for the 3rd straight year, 176 innings, a 2.9 ERA, a whip at 1.106, with a FIP at 3.25. Framber, similarly, a ground ball king, 99th percentile ground ball rate, 61.7% of the balls in play are on the ground. He strikes out 24% of the batters he faces. He walks a few. Nobody barrels up the ball because, again, you can't hit it in the air. I'd be shocked to see what the Astros do moving forward. Do they end up moving him at some point this year, or do they end up paying the man? Regardless, he deserves to get some money. He's a really good pitcher. Getting the top 20 started at number 20, I've got Seattle Mariners pitcher Bryce Miller. Wow, what a year Bryce Miller had in 2024. Looked okay as a rookie in the previous year, but last year he took a huge step up, 180 innings pitched, a 2.94 ERA with a whip under 1 at 0.976. Miller throws like 7 different pitches. If you look at his Baseball Savant page, it's crazy. None of them are out of control elite, but the fact that he has this many pitches in his arsenal, pitched as well as he did last year in the American League West, I think that's a top 20 pitcher in the game. And if I'm wrong, he'll drop out of this next year. Don't worry. But Bryce Miller was really good. Next up at number 19, I've got my boy Pablo Lopez of the Minnesota Twins. I love Pablo Lopez as a pitcher, and I don't care that his ERA started with a 4 last year. This dude is disgusting. 5% walk rate, 26% strikeout rate. People chase like crazy. Similarly, like everybody on the Minnesota Twins, amazing extension, which kind of makes sense because all these guys are big dudes, long arms. Get that extension, make those pitches seem like they're even faster, even nastier. And that's what Pablo Lopez does. Again, I beg you to not care about the ERA on Pablo Lopez. Just look at the stuff. He finished 7th at the Cy Young voting in 2023. It's a down year, which is why I dropped him down 7 spots, but he is still a top 20 pitcher, no doubt. Newcomer on the list at number 18, Cincinnati Reds ace Hunter Green. Did you guys see the year Hunter Green had last year? 150 innings, the most in his career, 26 starts, a 2.75 ERA. He technically had the highest Baseball Reference WAR for National League pitchers in the entire league, which is crazy. He finished 8th in the Cy Young voting, a 27% K rate, nearly 28%, under 10% walk rate. You're going to get that with Hunter Green when he's got stuff like he does. The fastball touches 100 miles an hour. He'll puke on the mound a couple times for sure. And pitching in Cincinnati will never do him any favors as a fly ball pitcher. But Hunter Green's stuff is amazing. It's so good. This could be the year we see Hunter Green competing for a Cy Young. Coming in at number 17, Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, Yamamoto only threw 90 innings last year, but they were pretty disgusting. He did have some ups and downs, but when this guy is on, it's really hard to understand how anybody makes contact against him. As a 25-year-old in 90 innings, 28.5% K rate, 6% walk rate last year. That puts him in an elite category. He had a FIP at 2.61 with a 3 ERA flat. His whip was 1.111. He just did a lot of really good things. Was a big reason for the Dodgers winning the World Series, pitched some big games in the postseason. And with that good fastball, the nasty split, the curveball, like he has as well 6 different pitches he can throw. If something's not on for the night, Yoshinobu Yamamoto can make the adjustment, and usually it ends up working out for him. Right at the halfway point in today's video, at number 16, I've got Michael King of the San Diego Padres. Padres actually ended up getting a good arm in the Juan Soto trade. Michael King, he's a free agent next year, so you know this guy's gonna ball out this upcoming season. And he's one of the most unique pitchers in baseball because nobody hits the ball hard against him. Nobody can really even figure out how to hit the ball hard against him. A 6% barrel rate. He strikes out a ton of dudes, 27% K rate, nearly 28%, tons of whiffs, lots of chase. He throws across his body. One of the nastiest sinkers in all of baseball. I don't know how people ever barrel that thing up. And in terms of counting numbers, I mean, those were great too. A 13-9 record with a 2.95 ERA, a whip at 1.192 in 173 innings, struck out 200 batters, a 3.33 FIP, finished 7th in the Cy Young voting. Yeah, he's really good. Getting the top 15 start at number 15, a big drop down, Gerrit Cole of the New York Yankees. Little concerned about Gerrit Cole's fastball. Did not look as good as it had in the past, and that was a bit of his separating factor. He only threw 95 innings last year due to an elbow injury to start the season, and they weren't the cleanest 95 innings for Gerrit Cole. Like, we're used to much better. He was still very good, but he wasn't the same dominant Gerrit Cole. The K rate dropped to 25% for the first time in his career since 2018 when he got to the Houston Astros. That's concerning. The walk rate was up a lot from previous years, nearly 7.5%, but he still finished with a 3.4 ERA, a whip at 1.126, and was a huge reason why the Yankees made the World Series. Now, did he forget to cover first base? For sure. Was that a huge, costly error, mistake? Oh, no doubt. I don't know if Yankee fans will ever forgive him, but if you look at him as a whole, he's still a top 15 pitcher in the game. Next up at number 14, I've got George Kirby of the Seattle Mariners. Kirby is just an awesome pitcher, drafted out of Elon University in 2019, made his debut in 2022, and literally has just been the same pitcher every single year. While the K rate's never been particularly high for George Kirby, he had a 3% walk rate on the season, which is absolutely disgusting. Similarly, people just don't really barrel up George Kirby at a very high rate. The fastball's sitting 96, the slider is disgusting, really good sinker. Kirby's just such a really solid pitcher, and while last year may not have been as amazing as previous years, the numbers are pretty much the same, so I don't know why people loved George Kirby in 2023, didn't love him in 2024. He pitched about the same amount of innings, like literally to a T, gave up the same amount of hits, struck out more batters, he faced more batters, walked a few more, gave up the same amount of home runs, the same amount of earned runs, essentially. It's kind of funny to think about how George Kirby's had the same year, yet people didn't like him as much, but to me, he's still a top 15 pitcher in the league. For the 13th best pitcher in Major League Baseball, I'm going to San Diego to talk about Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease, he got out of Chicago, and what do you know? He went back to being a top pitcher in the league. Last year, finished 4th in the Cy Young voting in the National League for the Padres, 189 innings, a 3.47 ERA, a whip at 1.067. He got that K rate back right to around 30% at 29.4 with a walk rate at 8.5%. Cease was getting a ton of swing and miss, a ton of chase, all the stuff that made Dylan Cease so good in the 2022 season, returned in San Diego last year. In a contract year, 29 years old, right in his prime, I fully expect Cease to be a Cy Young contender in the 2025 season. His stuff is that good. The fastball was amazing last year, sitting 97, and that slider is devastatingly good. Next up, a newcomer on the list, very high up here. At number 12, I've got Cole Reagans of the Kansas City Royals. Reagans is awesome. I mean, what a trade the Royals ended up making back in 2023 when they grabbed Reagans from the Rangers at the deadline. Since he's gotten to Kansas City, he's made 44 starts, 258 innings, a 3 flat ERA, a whip at 1.124, a FIP at 2.85, ERA plus 143. He's simply just been one of the best pitchers in baseball since that trade. Finished 4th in the Cy Young voting in the American League last year, a K rate right around 30% at 29.3, a walk rate at 8.8. From the left side, Reagans has that fastball that gets up to 96, 97 miles an hour. He had a 90th percentile whiff rate at 32%. Nobody was barreling him up last year, a barrel rate at 6.2%, which put him in the 79th percentile. All the stuff is really good. He's got 5 different pitches. Cole Reagans has the potential to be a top 10 pitcher by the end of the year. Just outside the top 10, at number 11, I've got Logan Gilbert of the Seattle Mariners. This rotation's absolutely loaded. Gilbert last year was one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. I'm actually shocked he only finished 6th in the Cy Young voting. I thought he would be higher. He had a whip, Major League best whip, at .887, which is disgusting. An ERA at 3.23. He threw a major league best 208 and 2/3 innings. The K rate was a career high at 27.4%. The walk rate was a career low at 4.6%. This guy has an argument to be a top 10 pitcher in the league. It's just that the top 10's absolutely loaded. But Logan Gilbert, man, like, this dude is so good. Is he one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball? There isn't anything he does poorly. I guess maybe he gives up some hard hits, but they don't hit it well. And he doesn't walk guys and they don't get hits, and his extension's crazy, and he's 6'6" and he throws 97. God, the Mariners pitchers are so good. Logan Gilbert's a part of it. Getting the top 10 start at number 10, I've got Tyler Glasnow. And this guy's healthy. He's absolutely disgusting. Did you know Tyler Glasnow threw a career high in innings last year? I bet you didn't. 134. That's not many, but God, they're a good 134. A 3.49 ERA in those 134 innings. A whip under 1 at .948. Glasnow was striking out 32% of the batters he was facing, walking under 7%, again, for one of the best K to walk ratios in baseball. If this dude is ever healthy for 170, 180 innings, he is just going to win the Cy Young. The only reason he's not higher in these rankings is because he can't stay healthy for a full year. He made only 22 starts last year. But even still, the best stuff in baseball debatably on the pitcher's mound. The fastball's electric, the slider's unhittable, the curveball's disgusting. This dude is a freak. He's 6'8", has some of the best extension in the league, so that fastball looks like it's even closer to you when he's releasing it. I just can't think of anything that wouldn't make you think Tyler Glasnow's not a top 10 pitcher. We're talking pure talent and stuff. This is the guy, which is why I still want him inside my top 10. Next up at number 9, I've got Jacob deGrom of the Texas Rangers. I know this is crazy, but if he throws 100 innings, he's gonna be a top 10 pitcher in the league. He's so good. Can't give up on Jacob deGrom just yet. If he gives you 120 innings next year, the Rangers might win the World Series. Now, he's only thrown 40 innings in the last 2 years, and if you look at his numbers since 2019, he hasn't gone over 100 innings in a season, but whenever he throws, it's dominant. Even last year, in an extremely small sample, 10 innings, a 31% K rate, a 2% walk rate. The fastball touches 100. The slider is like 92 miles an hour and unhittable. He only throws 2 pitches, and yet nobody can hit him. I don't know if he'll ever be healthy for a full season again. I really hope he is in 2025, because I think baseball is better when Jacob deGrom is pitching, and that's not even a biased statement. Since coming into the league, he has a 2.5 ERA in just under 1,400 innings with a whip under 1. So yeah, get mad at me, but he's inside my top 10 at number 9. And also, disclaimer, this will be the last year. If he's hurt again, I can't put him even close to the top 10 again. For the 8th best pitcher in Major League Baseball, I've got Spencer Strider of the Atlanta Braves. And I know I put McClanahan and I put Sandy lower, but Spencer Strider is a little different than those guys, because the last time we did see him pitch, which technically was 2024, but I'm looking more so at 2023, he was arguably the best pitcher in baseball. He was rocking a 37% K rate with a 7% walk rate. Last year he threw 9 innings, clearly was hurt, missed the rest of the season, but he's expected to be back healthy for the 2025 season for the Braves, and that's terrifying, because this guy has some of the nastiest stuff on the planet. A fastball in the upper 90s, a slider that at times feels unhittable. The velo's crazy good. He has crazy IVB. Everything you'd want to have a pitcher in Spencer Strider, he's got. The one downside is he's a Clemson dude and he plays for the Braves, so I just simply have to hate him. But in terms of baseball respect, yeah, Spencer Strider gets that from me. He's a disgusting pitcher. Next up, coming in at number 7, new Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Blake Snell. Blake Snell needs the respect, guys. He deserves your respect. When he throws 180 innings, he's the best pitcher in baseball. And last year, he only threw 104 due to weird injuries and the contract stuff with the Giants to start the year. It was a bizarre season. As bad as it started, it was also that good towards the end of the year. And 104 innings, a 3.12 ERA, a whip at 1.048, and a FIP at 2.43. Blake Snell was striking out 35% of the batters he was facing, walking 10%, which is just kind of disgusting stuff. And for a guy like Blake Snell, whose stuff is so good, he doesn't care about the walks because he gives up little to no hits, a 5.6 hit per 9 last year, doesn't give up home runs, strikes out a ton of batters. The stuff is disgusting. The Baseball Savant page is completely red. Elite whiff rates, elite chase rates. Nobody hits the ball hard. Whether you want to believe it or not, this is one of the best pitchers in baseball, and that's why I got him ranked here at number 7. Just want to see a few more innings. That's it. He could be the best pitcher, arguably. Just outside the top 5 at number 6, I've got the National League Cy Young Award winner, Chris Sale. Chris Sale was so disgusting. The numbers were out of control. He made 29 starts, which was almost as many starts as he's made since the 2020 season. 2.38 ERA, the best in baseball. 18 wins, a whip at 1.013, a FIP at 2.09 is disgusting with an ERA plus at 174. He struck out the most batters in the National League with 225, and that wasn't in the most innings by any means. A 32% K rate, 5.6% walk rate, was one of the best K to walk ratios in baseball. The biggest thing with Chris Sale is always going to be his health. As long as he's healthy, he is a borderline top 5 pitcher. Right now, I just got to keep him a little bit outside the top 5 because they've just done it a little bit longer. Number 6, though, pretty good for Chris Sale. Getting the top 5 started at number 5, current free agent Corbin Burnes. I don't know who's going to pay Corbin Burnes, but they should. The dude's a top 5 pitcher in Major League Baseball. We might not see him win a Cy Young award again, but he's always going to be in that top 5, top 10 range every single season. The dude just gives you innings every single year. 194 last year, a 2.92 ERA in Baltimore with a whip at 1.096. The one thing that is concerning about Corbin Burns' game, which is why I don't have him higher up in these rankings, the K rate dropped for a 4th straight season, down to 23% last year, which is a little bit concerning. But even still, with that, Corbin Burns still doesn't give up hard hits, doesn't give up barrels, doesn't walk anybody, gets elite chase rate, has 6 different pitches that he can throw. He's really good. I mean, someone's going to get this guy on their team at some point this offseason, and you're going to grab an ace for the next 6, 7, 8 years on your roster. Corbin Burns is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Got him inside the top 5. Major jump up here at number 4, Gerrit Crochet of the Boston Red Sox. The dude's the new Chris Sale, let's just say it. Last year, Crochet became a starter for the first time in his career, and it was disgusting for the White Sox. 146 innings, a 3.58 ERA, but you see the FIP 2.69, almost a full run lower. A whip at 1.068. He was an all-star. He struck out 35% of the batters he's faced. That's right, 35%, walking 5.5%. That is just disgusting stuff. From the left side, you don't see what Crochet's got normally from a starting pitcher. A fastball around 97, 98 miles an hour, a really good cutter, solid sweeper, changeup as well that he'll mix in every once in a while. The Baseball Savant page similarly is crazy. 93rd percentile in whiff and chase rate, 98th percentile in K rate. He's 6'6" from the left side, so he's got crazy extension as well. Everything that Gerrit Crochet does on the mound is disgusting. Now we just got to see it for a little bit more, and if we do, he has the chance to be the best pitcher in baseball. I really wanted to put this next guy at number 1, but I couldn't. At number 3, Paul Skenes of the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you don't think Paul Skenes is one of the 3, 4, or even 5 best pitchers in baseball, you probably already clicked off the video at this point. He is unbelievable. This is not just a hype beast scenario. Paul Skenes could be the best pitcher in baseball right now, but I just gave some guys a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Skenes last year in 133 innings of his rookie season, 23 starts, 11-3. Not a wins channel, but that's impressive. A whip under 1 at .947, a FIP at 2.44, an ERA plus at 2.14. He won the Rookie of the Year, finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting, was an all-star, got MVP votes on the Pirates. He struck out 33% of the batters he faced, walking 6% of them. He's got the fastball that touches 102. He's got the splinker. He's got the curveball. He's got the sweeper. He's got the slider. Like, oh my God, Paul Skenes is so good. This guy's must-watch baseball. 3rd best pitcher in the league. Shout out the Pirates getting the high ranking finally. Just missing out the number 1 spot. At number 2, I've got Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies. Zach Wheeler is just consistency, and the consistency at a super high level. Since going to the Phillies in 2020, we're looking at a guy who has put up over 800 innings of 2.94 ERA baseball, a whip right around 1 at 1.03, a FIP at 2.96, and last year, again, he finished 2nd in the Cy Young voting, 200 innings, again, an ERA at 2.57, a whip under 1 at .955. He got MVP votes. He was an all-star game. K rate, 2nd highest of his career at 28.5%. The walk rate was 6.6%. Zach Wheeler, man, I can't believe the Mets let this guy go ever. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. But of course, coming in as the best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball, Detroit Tigers left-handed ace, Tarek Skubal. Skubal, oh my God, dude, what a year last season. 192 innings, a 2.39 ERA, an ERA plus at 170, a FIP at 2.49. He struck out the most batters in Major League Baseball at 228, won the Cy Young Award, finished 7th in the MVP voting in the American League. He struck out 30% of the batters he faced, walking only 4.6%. That fastball is absolutely electric, sitting 97 miles an hour from the left side. The changeup, the sinker, the slider. He's got 4 devastatingly good pitches. People don't know what's coming. They chase, they whiff, they don't barrel it up. Everything you'd ever want out of the best pitcher in Major League Baseball, Tarek Skubal's got it. The only question mark with him ever in the past has been his health, and he gave us a fully healthy season. He's the best pitcher in baseball. Shout out the Tigers. Shout out Tarek Skubal. So there they are, my top 30 pitchers in Major League Baseball for the 2025 season. I'd love to know who you think was left off the list, who you think I ranked too high, too low, down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any other content. Top 50 players tomorrow, Christmas Day. And follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description. Thank you guys for the amazing support. 1 day left. I really seriously appreciate all the amazing support and views and subscribers. So thank you so much. Depending on when you're watching this, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll catch you all on the next video. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.